Imagine throwing for over 61,000 yards. Imagine being named the league's most valuable player. Imagine breaking records that stood for decades. Imagine doing all of that and then retiring without ever holding the Lombardi Trophy. That is not a hypothetical. That is Dan Marino's career. That is Barry Sanders. That is Larry Fitzgerald. These are not role players. These are not guys who had decent careers and fell short. These are legends, Hall of Famers, players whose names are spoken in the same breath as Montana, Brady, and Rice. And yet, when their careers ended, they walked away without the one thing that defines a legacy in the National Football League, a championship. Some of them came within seconds. One of them scored a go-ahead touchdown in the Super Bowl with 2 minutes left, only to watch his defense give it back. Another led his team to 4 straight Super Bowls and lost every single one. And one of them played on the only undefeated team to ever reach the Super Bowl and still lost. These players did not fail. The football gods failed them. And today, we are going to honor the 10 greatest players in NFL history who deserved a Super Bowl ring and never got one. If you want football content that actually respects the game and the people who played it, subscribe right now. This one is going to hit you in the chest. Let's go.
Starting at number 10, with a man whose career is one of the most underrated in NFL history, Warren Moon. Moon was not drafted by the NFL in 1978, despite leading the University of Washington to a Rose Bowl victory and being named the game's MVP. Why? Because NFL teams did not believe a black quarterback could lead a franchise. So Moon went to the Canadian Football League. In over 6 seasons with the Edmonton Eskimos, he won 5 consecutive Grey Cup championships. 5! He dominated the CFL so thoroughly that the NFL could no longer ignore him. In 1984, at 28 years old, Moon signed with the Houston Oilers. And over the next 17 seasons in the NFL, Moon threw for 49,325 yards, the most by any undrafted player in history. He was selected to 9 Pro Bowls. He was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame in 2006. And he never reached the Super Bowl. Not once. Moon made the playoffs 7 times with the Oilers and Vikings, but he could never break through. His best chance came in 1991 when the Oilers led the Buffalo Bills 35-3 in a wild card playoff game. They lost 41-38 in the greatest comeback in NFL history. Moon threw for over 300 yards in that game and still lost. Warren Moon overcame racism, dominated 2 professional leagues, and became one of the most prolific passers in football history. He deserved a Super Bowl, and the fact that he never got one is one of the great injustices in the sport.
Number 9, Jim Kelly. And this one is different from every other entry on this list because Jim Kelly did reach the Super Bowl 4 times. 4 consecutive Super Bowls from 1990 to 1993. The Buffalo Bills became the first and only team in NFL history to reach 4 straight championship games, and they lost every single one. Super Bowl 25 against the Giants, Bills lost 20-19 when Scott Norwood missed a 47-yard field goal wide right. Super Bowl 26 against Washington, Bills lost 37-24. Super Bowl 27 against Dallas, Bills lost 52-17. Super Bowl 28 against Dallas again, Bills lost 30-13. 4 chances, 4 losses. And Jim Kelly, the quarterback who led that team through one of the most remarkable runs in sports history, is remembered more for the heartbreak than the achievement. Kelly threw for over 35,000 yards in his career. He was a 5-time Pro Bowler. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2002. But the 4 losses follow him everywhere. The Bills became a punchline, but they should not have been. Reaching 4 straight Super Bowls is a feat that no team has matched in over 30 years. Jim Kelly deserved to win at least one of those games, and the fact that he did not will haunt Buffalo forever.
Number 8, Champ Bailey, one of the greatest cornerbacks to ever play the game. Bailey was selected 7th overall in the 1999 NFL Draft by Washington. He played 5 seasons there before being traded to the Denver Broncos in 2004. And over the next 10 seasons in Denver, Bailey established himself as the most complete cornerback in football. He could cover, he could tackle, he could play man, he could play zone. He was selected to 12 Pro Bowls. He was a 3-time first-team All-Pro. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2019, and he played in 1 Super Bowl, Super Bowl 48, the final season of his career. The Broncos, led by Peyton Manning and the greatest offensive season in NFL history, were demolished by the Seattle Seahawks 43-8. Bailey was 35 years old, his body was breaking down, and his only chance at a championship ended in a blowout loss that was over before halftime. Champ Bailey spent 15 years being the best at his position. He shut down the greatest receivers in the game, he changed how offenses game planned, and he got 1 Super Bowl appearance at the very end of his career when he was no longer the player he once was. That is not fair. That is cruel.
Number 7. Tony Gonzalez, the greatest tight end in NFL history, until Rob Gronkowski and Travis Kelce entered the conversation. Gonzalez played 17 seasons from 1997 to 2013 with the Chiefs and Falcons. He caught 1,325 passes for 15,127 yards and 111 touchdowns. He was selected to 14 Pro Bowls. 14! He was a 6-time All-Pro. He redefined what a tight end could be in the modern NFL. He was a matchup nightmare who could line up anywhere and beat anyone. And he never reached a Super Bowl, not once. Gonzalez made the playoffs 8 times in his career. He won his first playoff game in his 16th season at age 36. By the time he finally tasted postseason success, his body was worn down and his window was closed. Tony Gonzalez retired after the 2013 season, 1 year before the Chiefs went on a deep playoff run. 1 year. He spent 17 years being one of the most dominant offensive weapons in football, and the championship window closed before he could walk through it. Gonzalez has said in interviews that the one regret of his career is not winning a Super Bowl, and you can hear the pain in his voice when he says it. Tony Gonzalez deserved a ring, and the football gods never gave him one.
Number 6. Junior Seau. And this one is painful in ways that go far beyond football. Seau played 20 seasons from 1990 to 2009, primarily with the San Diego Chargers. He was one of the most ferocious, most beloved linebackers in NFL history. He was selected to 12 Pro Bowls. He was a 6-time first-team All-Pro. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015, and he played in 2 Super Bowls. Super Bowl 29 with the Chargers in 1995. They lost to the 49ers 49-26. Super Bowl 42 with the Patriots in 2008. They lost to the Giants 17-14 on one of the most improbable plays in NFL history, the David Tyree helmet catch. 2 chances, 2 losses. Seau retired after the 2009 season, and on May 2nd, 2012, Junior Seau died by suicide at his home in Oceanside, California. He was 43 years old. Researchers later found that Seau had suffered from chronic traumatic encephalopathy, or CTE, a degenerative brain disease caused by repeated head trauma. Junior Seau gave everything to football, his body, his mind, his life. And football gave him 2 Super Bowl losses and a brain that was slowly destroying itself. He deserved a championship. He deserved peace, and he got neither.
We are entering the top 5 now, and these are not just great players who fell short. These are the names that define the pain of never winning at all. A running back so talented that he retired in his prime rather than waste another year on a losing team. A wide receiver who caught a go-ahead touchdown in the Super Bowl and still lost. A quarterback who set every passing record imaginable and never got a ring.
And at number 1, the most heartbreaking story on this entire list. A player who was so close so many times and had it ripped away every single time. Subscribe if you have not already. You need to hear these stories.
Number 5, LaDainian Tomlinson, LT, one of the most complete running backs to ever play the game. Tomlinson was drafted 5th overall by the San Diego Chargers in the 2001 NFL Draft out of TCU. And over the next 9 seasons in San Diego, he became one of the most dominant offensive players in football. In 2006, Tomlinson set the single-season touchdown record with 31. 31 touchdowns in one season. That record still stands. He rushed for over 13,000 career yards. He was selected to 5 Pro Bowls. He won the MVP in 2006, and he never reached a Super Bowl. His best chance came in the 2006 playoffs. The Chargers went 14-2 in the regular season. They had the number 1 seed in the AFC. They were the favorite to win the championship. And in the divisional round against the New England Patriots, Tomlinson suffered a knee injury and had to leave the game. The Chargers lost 24-21. Tom Brady led a comeback, and LT's championship window slammed shut. Tomlinson played 2 more seasons with the Chargers and then finished his career with the Jets. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2017, but the ring never came. LaDainian Tomlinson set a touchdown record that may never be broken, and he never got to hold the Lombardi Trophy. That is not justice. That is tragedy.
Number 4, Larry Fitzgerald, the most beloved player in Arizona Cardinals history. Fitzgerald was drafted 3rd overall in the 2004 NFL Draft out of Pittsburgh, and over the next 18 seasons, all with the Cardinals, Fitzgerald became one of the greatest receivers to ever play. He caught 1,432 passes, 2nd all time. He accumulated 17,492 receiving yards, 2nd all time. He was selected to 11 Pro Bowls. He played in 1 Super Bowl, Super Bowl 43 after the 2008 season. The Cardinals faced the Pittsburgh Steelers, Fitzgerald's hometown team, and Fitzgerald put on a performance for the ages. He caught 7 passes for 127 yards and 2 touchdowns. With 2 minutes and 37 seconds remaining, Fitzgerald caught a 64-yard touchdown pass to give the Cardinals the lead, 23-20. The Cardinals were 2.5 minutes away from winning the championship. And then, Ben Roethlisberger led the Steelers down the field and threw a 6-yard touchdown pass to Santonio Holmes with 35 seconds left. Steelers win 27-23. Larry Fitzgerald scored the go-ahead touchdown in the Super Bowl, and his defense could not hold the lead for 3 minutes. He did everything right, and it still was not enough. Fitzgerald played 10 more seasons after that loss. He never got another chance. Larry Fitzgerald is one of the greatest receivers in history, and the image of him sitting on the bench watching the Steelers celebrate is one of the most heartbreaking in sports. Number 3, Randy Moss, the most physically gifted wide receiver to ever play football. Moss was drafted 21st overall by the Minnesota Vikings in the 1998 NFL Draft out of Marshall. And from the moment he stepped on an NFL field, he was different. Faster, stronger, more explosive. He could run by any defensive back in the league. In his rookie season, he caught 69 passes for 1,313 yards and 17 touchdowns. 17 touchdowns as a rookie. He was selected to 6 Pro Bowls. He caught 23 touchdowns in the 2007 season, the single-season record. And he played in 2 Super Bowls. Super Bowl 42 with the New England Patriots after the 2007 season. The Patriots were 18-0, the only undefeated team to reach the Super Bowl in the 16-game era. They were heavy favorites against the New York Giants, and they lost 17-14. Moss caught 5 passes for 62 yards. The Patriots' offense, which had been unstoppable all season, scored just 14 points, and the perfect season died. Moss played in 1 more Super Bowl with the 49ers in 2012 as a role player. They lost to the Ravens. Randy Moss is in the Hall of Fame. He changed the way defenses approach the deep ball. He revolutionized the receiver position, and he never got a ring. That is one of the great injustices in NFL history.
Number 2, Barry Sanders. And this one hurts because Barry Sanders did not just retire without a ring, he retired in his prime because he could not stand losing anymore. Sanders was drafted 3rd overall by the Detroit Lions in the 1989 NFL Draft out of Oklahoma State, where he had won the Heisman Trophy. And over the next 10 seasons, Sanders became the most electrifying running back in NFL history. He rushed for 15,269 yards. He was selected to 10 Pro Bowls. He won the MVP in 1997. He never played in a Super Bowl. Not once. The Lions made the playoffs 5 times during Sanders' career. They won 1 playoff game. 1 in 10 years. And in July of 1999, at 31 years old, just 1,457 yards away from breaking the all-time rushing record, Barry Sanders retired. He faxed a letter to his hometown newspaper announcing his decision. He said he had lost the desire to play, but everyone knew the truth. He was tired of losing, tired of carrying a franchise that could not build a contender around him. Barry Sanders walked away from football rather than waste another year of his life on a team that was never going to win. He's in the Hall of Fame. He is considered a top 3 running back of all time, and he quit because the Lions failed him. Barry Sanders deserved a Super Bowl, and the Detroit Lions robbed him of it.
Number 1, Dan Marino. And there is no debate. Marino is the greatest player to never win a Super Bowl. He is the poster child for championship heartbreak. Marino was drafted 27th overall by the Miami Dolphins in the 1983 NFL Draft, in what is still considered one of the greatest quarterback classes in history. And in his second season, 1984, Marino had the greatest individual season a quarterback had ever produced. He threw for 5,084 yards. He threw 48 touchdowns. Both were NFL records that stood for decades. He won the MVP, and the Dolphins reached Super Bowl 19. They faced the San Francisco 49ers and Joe Montana, and they lost 38-16. That was Marino's only Super Bowl appearance. In his second season, he played 15 more years, and he never got back. Marino retired in 1999 as the all-time leader in passing yards, touchdowns, and completions. He held those records for years. He was selected to 9 Pro Bowls. He was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2005 on the first ballot, and he never won a championship. Dan Marino is the best quarterback to never win a Super Bowl, and it is not even close. He deserved a ring. The football gods owed him one, and they never delivered.
10 players, 10 Hall of Fame careers, 10 legacies defined not by what they won, but by what they never got. These players gave everything to football, and football gave them everything except the one thing that mattered. Which player on this list deserved a Super Bowl the most? Drop a comment. And if this video made you feel something, subscribe. I will see you in the next one.